The man had just started sliding down the zipline, unaware that his safety harness was beginning to fray. He was still excitedly snapping photos until he reached the halfway point. Only then did he notice something was wrong. He quickly grabbed onto the overhead steel cable, immediately locking his legs around the wire and screaming at the top of his lungs for help. By the time the safety officer reached him, his strength had already given out. The officer desperately tried to secure him, but before 2 seconds could pass, the man lost his grip completely. The officer lunged to catch him, but the man ultimately plummeted below. Irene witnessed the entire horror, frantically telling the staff to call an ambulance. Before charging down the hillside herself, using nearby landmarks as a guide, she searched for the approximate spot where he fell. She dialed her husband's phone. Following the sound of the ringtone, she soon located her unconscious husband. The ambulance finally arrived at the scene, but after loading him inside, the paramedics blocked Irene from getting in, since they didn't speak the same language. She had no choice but to take a business card for the hospital, urging them to head out immediately. She then hopped on a motorcycle, following closely behind the ambulance. But as she reached a fork in the road, a car suddenly lunged out from the side, sending Irene crashing to the pavement. By then, the ambulance was nowhere to be seen. It felt as if someone was pulling the strings. Sure enough, when Irene tracked down the hospital, the nurse at the front desk told her that no one had been admitted recently. She checked several other nearby hospitals, but there was no record of her husband anywhere. In desperation, she turned to the police. An officer accompanied her back to the site of the accident. When they questioned the staff member, the man claimed he had never seen them before. Irene grabbed him by the collar, demanding answers. The officer quickly pulled her away, while the worker hopped on the zipline and slid off. This made Irene even more suspicious of him. So Irene returned to the zipline once more, tracking down the staff member who had lied. She strapped a safety harness onto him, dragging him along as she headed out over the line. Once they were dangling in the middle of the cable, Irene pulled out her phone to record, demanding to know where her husband had been taken. At first, the worker refused to talk, but when Irene moved to unbuckle his harness, terrified, he finally confessed the truth.